Hello, hammerheads. Thanks for tuning in. Well, what kind of world are we living in now? I mean, sometimes I don't even think we're in the real world. Well, it feels like we're all backstroking in a big barrel of diarrhea, you know, with a few lumpy bits in it. And them lumpy bits are these fucking far left psychopaths. Yeah. You know, the ones who choose to be offended by everything when it's not even offensive. You know, they must go to bed at night, right? Have a restless night's sleep, tossing and turning, nightmares about this, that, and the other, imaginary race wars and all the rest of it. And they'll get up in the morning, racking their brains, still. What can I be offended by today? What can I be offended? And then they'll just invent something at the spur of the moment to be offended by. And then everyone else should get offended by what they've been offended by. And if all these people disagree with what this person has been offended by, this person who's been offended by nothing, just something out of his or her imagination, will get all these people arrested. They'll all lose their jobs, their families, their homes, and everything. That's how it works now. This is what we're up against in 2020. These are the facts. These are what these fucking nut jobs are really like. They invent things to be offended by and lump everyone else in with them as best they can. Luckily, there's not that many stupid people on the fucking planet. Well, if there are, I haven't met them, thank fuck. I mean, we're living in a time now in this country, in England, right? We've always been a really accepting country. And now, this day and age, in the UK, we're more accepting than anyone and anything than we've ever been before in British history. Right? Yet, everybody's offended more than ever. Strange that, isn't it? And there's nothing to be offended about. Well, there's plenty there, but these choose not to be offended about the things I'm talking about, because I don't want to mention them. A certain group of people who have more liberties than the native Brit. I don't want to mention who or what they are because I don't want to get arrested again for telling the truth. Because honesty now is a big crime. It's crime of the century now if you tell the truth. All the bans I've had from Facebook, 5-day bans, week bans, 30-day bans, going back, I don't know, a couple of years now. Guess what? Also, YouTube strikes, videos being deleted. Guess why? Every time I've been banned from Facebook, from Fuckerturd and his bum chums, it's always been when I've been criticising paedophiles, child abuse, things that you should criticise. But you're not allowed to criticise it anymore. Same with YouTube. The videos that's been deleted, they're all about paedophilia. Because I'm calling them out. I'm not allowed. Gagging order. You're not allowed to talk about paedophiles anymore because it's offensive. Wasn't that long ago in America, some members of the far left cretins, they were labelling people who call out paedophiles paedophobes. Xenophob's bad enough. Islamophobe is even worse because there's no such word as any of them. It's just the words made up in college or somewhere by some scruffy, hippie college professor who's still wet behind the fucking ears, brainwashing all these kids into thinking that Churchill was a war criminal and a tyrant and committed genocide. But Hitler was a lovely man who, pillar of the community who can sit down and have a nice cup of tea with. This is what they're teaching kids now in schools and colleges. This is where we're at now. And if you complain to the teachers, the parents will be reprimanded and, they'll be dragged through the court system probably for being a Nazi, for being racist, just because they don't want their kids to be brought up as a racist Nazi. That's exactly what the teachers are teaching these kids now. How to be a racist Nazi. How to, you know, support communism and socialism. And they believe in it. Where these teachers and professors are getting the idea that socialism and communism was a good way to live is anyone's guess. I'm guessing they've just put their hand down the fucking nearest toilet and plucked anything out of there they can and mixed it all together and come up with the fucking so-called solution to brainwash the kids with. Socialism is the way to go. It's the way forward. Our fucking war veterans must be spinning in their graves. Fighting 2 world wars, and why? They conquered socialism. They destroyed the Nazis. We won the war in 1945. We destroyed Hitler and his left-wing socialist party. Yeah, got rid of socialism before it conquered Europe. What's happening now? Socialism is conquering Europe. And the people who were orchestrating this takeover are they call everyone else Nazis who disagrees with them. Makes sense, doesn't it? Since Hitler and the Nazi Party were left-wing socialists. And I don't care what people say. Oh, it's the National Workers' fucking Socialist Party. You can dress it up like anything. Dress it up how you like. Sugarcoat it any which way you please. Socialism is socialism. There's no mild, medium, bad, extra bad. It's all bad. All of it. Socialism and communism, I mention them 2 words in conjunction a lot because there's a very fine line between the two. It's all tyranny. That's all there is. All socialism is it's fucking tyranny and oppression disguised as liberties and freedom. That's what it is, same as communism. Just ask the Chinese or the Russians, the North Koreans or the Vietnamese if you don't believe me. Oh, they're having a whale of the time, them. Once Trump said, why is everyone coming here from shithole countries? And everyone was up in arms. Well, he was right. They are leaving shithole countries for 2 reasons. One, nobody in their right mind would ever go on a package tour or a holiday to Iran or Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq or fucking Libya or anywhere, would they? And 2, if they're not shithole countries, why are tens and thousands of them breaking their backs to leave them countries to go somewhere safer? He was right. They are shithole countries. But people got offended by it. People always get offended by the truth. Don't be honest now. I was brought up with the belief that honesty is the best policy. Not anymore. Now you've got to lie through your teeth just to stay out of fucking prison. And if you do end up in prison, you're in a kangaroo court for 2 seconds. You know, boing, prison for fucking 2 years. For what? Because you quoted something from a factual or fictional book from decades ago or even centuries ago. You know what I mean? You get reprimanded for that at the very, very least. Yeah. It's even a crime now to quote parts of the Bible in the street. Get locked up for that. I mean, I'm an atheist. I couldn't give a fuck about religion. But each to their own. I've never been preached to by Christians, so I don't know. Yeah. Likes of David Lammy and Labour. He's not only a racist, he's a race baiter. They're the most dangerous kind. Because he's another one, he goes to bed at night dreaming up something he can call racist in the morning. They can't carry on through the day without that. You know what I mean? Every time he opens his mouth, he mentions skin colour. He's obsessed. You know, he's somebody who you can't actually see past skin colour. That's a racist. He thinks he can get away with it because he's black. But he's more racist than any white people have ever known. Because he never shuts up about skin colour and race and, you know, oppression against blacks and slavery. Like Oprah Winfrey and fucking Whoopi Goldberg. All these people preaching about slavery, which the Republicans abolished, by the way. Banging on about slavery morning, noon, and night, and how oppressed black people. There's people laugh at them, you know. Like Morgan Freeman doesn't agree with all that crap. But the people I'm talking about, David Lammy, Oprah Winfrey, Whoopi Goldberg, people like that's just three of them. I'm not going to go through a whole list. They're all born with fucking silver spoons in their mouths. They've never experienced oppression or racism or apartheid like I did when I lived in South Africa between 1982 and 1983 at the height of the apartheid. That was real racism. I witnessed it. I was there. I seen it. Fucking proper racism. Not like tiddlywinks in England. Somebody farts in the wrong direction, it doesn't smell right, so immediately they're a Nazi and they get locked up. You try getting on whites only carriages on trains. Whites, blacks. Whites only schools. Yeah? Yeah. I've seen on more than a few occasions a black man walking along the street, just where I lived. Cop van pulls up, loads of cops get out, beat him to a pulp, throw him in the back of the van, drive off. All the time, just because he ventured into a white area. Although black people doesn't make any sense. I've seen a black woman murdered in front of us. Well, she looked like she was fucking dead, and everyone walked off. No arrests, no charges, nothing, because it was the norm out there. White people could kill a black person and get away with it. No court need, nothing. Black person kills a white person, you had capital punishment when I was there. You get hanged by the neck until you're dead. Only if you're black, though. You know, real racism. You know, you couldn't even fall in love with somebody of the opposite race out there. Somebody even a half caste. If you're white and you fall in love with somebody who's black or oriental, anything different from a white person, it was against the law. It was a law that passed in 1949. You could go to jail for getting married. Two mixed races getting a couple get married. That's how bad it was in South Africa. That was real fucking racism. So I'm sick of people preaching to me morning and noon and night. I'm sick of seeing it all over the place. This is racist, that's racist. When they haven't experienced anything racist whatsoever, like Stormzy. He wrote that crap, really, really racist against white people rap song. As if he's experienced oppression and racism and an apartheid. No, he hasn't. If he had, why is he up on stage? Why has he got a big, massive, fucking gigantic platform like he has? He hasn't experienced racism. Nobody I know has, unless they have lived in fucking South Africa back in them days. Even the deep south of America in the 30s wasn't as bad as this. Believe fucking me, it wasn't. Next time someone wants to get offended by something, I know it's difficult to warrant this from people who don't have any intelligence, but please try and think. The least you can do is try and think before you invent something to offend yourself and everyone else around you, which isn't even offensive. I'm off. Rant over. I don't think I'm going to do another one tonight. I normally do one video a month, but I'm pissed off. See ya.